Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about censorship. Um, why does the left like it so much? That's a good question, right? I think we all know the answer to that. Just looking at comments here. Looks like we are still on Facebook. That is absolutely awesome. Glad you guys joining me either on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitter. It's being simulcast on all of those. But why does the left like to censor so much? So many conservatives have been censored off of social media platforms. You may have heard that my campaign got notified that our Facebook page may be shut down. Maybe shut down. And if you're watching this on Facebook right now, because like I said, I'm also broadcasting on Twitter and on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, then we have not been shut down yet. So my campaign's reached out to Facebook to find out what policy we violated, because I have no clue, but we haven't heard back from Facebook at all. When we do, you will be first ones to know. But why does the left love to censor speech? I mean, that's pretty obvious to most of us, right? They're afraid of the truth getting in the way of their fragile leftist narratives. I mean, their narratives shrivel up and blow away when the light of truth hits them, right? Remember Russia, 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 the Steele dossier? I'm a racist. Trump's a racist. Everyone who doesn't agree with them is a racist. That's their go-to thing, right? All of these things, they're just false narratives. They can't stand up to the light of the truth. So when the truth is told, they don't like it and they shut it down. It's happened to many conservatives. President Trump is the most well-known person to have it happen to him because they didn't like what he was saying. They didn't like him being able to communicate to the American people. So until they do shut me down, which I try not to give them any reason to, but in the meantime, I'll continue to do what I do, which is speak the truth, common sense, God, family, country, and the Constitution. So I also continue to go out and do meet and greets. Had what was it? 3 events the last 4 days or so. I think I posted pictures of our meet and greet at Smilligan's Pizza here in Yakima. Filled the place. It was awesome, and they have excellent pizza. If you're ever from Moses Lake, stop at Smilligan's. They great people, great food, and a locally owned business. So anyway, I'm also on Getter. So if you're on Getter, follow me there if you want to. If you're not on Getter, maybe get it. We're also going to be on other platforms soon. But please, you guys, please go to my website, sign up for the emails. Emails might be the only way to get a message out to you about upcoming events that we're doing. And one event that I really hope is going to happen, and I think it might, hopefully, a Trump rally in Washington State. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it would absolutely be amazing. And if that happens, we will be putting notifications out on our email feed as well. So culpforcongress.com and sign up for the emails. Okay. So, and if that happens, if President Trump does come to Washington State, does a rally, I'm going to be sure to invite Jay Inslee and Dan Newhouse to the rally. No, I won't. Just joking. Although, both of them could probably learn a thing or two about freedom and about the American people and what they care about if they went. But I think they're both too far gone. So anyway, seeing you guys' comments go flying by here. That's awesome. So not inviting those two; they're too far gone. So, um, on another subject, I'm going to play for you an interview that I did just recently with Pastor Brown on Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, and I'm going to play that interview here in just a second. We covered a ton of subjects in this interview, and Pastor Brown is absolutely awesome, very conservative Christian man. And we covered a ton of subjects, talked about a lot of things that concern real American people, working hard, playing hard, family people that care about God, family, and country, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and getting our government back within the confines of that rule book, right? So that we are free, so that we're not governed by dictators like we have in the White House and like we have the governor's mansion. So they did an amazing job with the production on this video, and I think you're going to really like it. So please be sure to hit share, and don't forget to go to my website, culpforcongress.com, sign up for the email alerts. You never know, you guys. That might be the only way electronically that I'll have to communicate with you and get information out to you. So I hope that you enjoy this video with Pastor Brown. Take care and God bless you guys.
By Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Christian television station, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for more than 40 years.
Hi, I'm Pastor Dave Brown, and we're on here on Christian Viewpoint, and I am so privileged to be in the studio with Loren Culp. Loren Culp was a police chief in Republic, and we thank you for being part of our state and for making the decision to run against Newhouse. And I think nothing could be greater than that. Whatever caused you to come into this way? Why did you decide to run?
As most people know, in 2020, I ran for governor of Washington State.
Right.
Never intended to be a politician. I was just a country boy, grew up on a farm.
Right.
When I was in grade school, lived on another farm in the eastern side of the state in high school. I never had aspirations to be a politician, but some events happened in my life that just kind of moved me in that direction. And it started in actually 2018. I was the police chief in Republic, and the anti-gun initiative 1639
Yes.
passed in this state.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer in our God-given rights.
Yes, that's right.
And I stood up the day that it passed. I put a post out on Facebook. We had a department Facebook page, and I said that in the city limits of Republic, Washington, that law will not be enforced. I'm not going to violate citizens' constitutional rights. Our rights are given to us from
That's
God.
right.
Where,
That's right.
the Constitution doesn't give us any rights. The Bill of Rights doesn't give us rights. The government, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution is there to protect our God-given rights.
Yes.
And so I wasn't going to violate any citizens that I worked for God-given rights. If you're going to take away someone's God-given rights, you're evil.
That's right.
Without due process of taking someone's freedom away, that is evil. And so I made that post on our Facebook page thinking I'm talking to the 1,000 people in Republic. And that post went viral. It got shared all around the world.
Wow.
And I know that because I got emails from people in Australia and Great Britain and Canada saying, stand up for your rights, don't back down. But that got some attention. I didn't think that it would, didn't know why it did it first. But I was on the national media. I did hundreds of radio and newspaper interviews all across the United States. And I was on the Tucker Carlson show talking about why am I standing up like this when apparently nobody else did.
Yeah.
But that led me to writing a book because there was so much misunderstanding from other law enforcement executives in the state. There was a few that stood up like I did, but there was a lack of response.
I thought that we'd have sheriffs and police chiefs all over the state standing up and saying the same thing.
Sure.
There was only a handful. So this was November of 2018. And in December, I decided I need to get what was in my brain out to these other law enforcement agencies, the police chiefs and the sheriffs and the citizens, to know that these are our God-given rights. We have to stand up for them.
That's right.
So I wrote a book in December of 2018 called American Cop. I just spent every waking hour. Sometimes I was up all night, but I wrote that entire book in 1 month.
Oh my goodness.
It was published the following February, and it went to number 1 on Amazon very quickly and stayed there for several weeks. That led me to traveling around the state to sportsman shows and gun shows and speaking, promoting the book. And people started asking me to run for governor. You know, that more and more people read the book and heard me speak. So that's what led me into politics. So at first I was like, you know, I don't want to be in politics. I never dreamed of being a politician. And I didn't really care to stand up in front of people and speak. You know, it just wasn't one of my strong suits. But with more and more people asking me the same thing, I decided to run for governor. Went through the 2020 campaign, got more votes than any Republican gubernatorial candidate in Washington state history. And we know how that turned out. You know, same way as the 2020 national election.
Same as the national.
President Trump. There was some monkey business going on. We had tremendous support from
I know you did.
People of Washington. After that election, the current representative in the 4th district, Representative Newhouse, most people thought he was a conservative, you know.
That's right.
I did as well. Never had a reason to, you know, really look into his voting or anything. He's been in office, I think, 6 terms.
That's right.
But when Nancy Pelosi and the radical left wanted to impeach President Trump over nothing, there were 10 Republicans that voted to impeach President Trump.
I remember that.
Yes. Newhouse was one of them. You know, it was kind of shocking to hear him do that and see the rest of them do it. Yeah,
that's right.
And then he doubled down and he voted for the January 6th commission.
Yes, he did.
So that just allowed Nancy Pelosi to continue her charade of, you know, villainizing, vilifying conservative people.
Sure.
She's continuing that to this day.
Right.
And so he voted for that as well. And so I started looking into him a little bit because he's representing the most conservative district in the state of Washington.
That's right.
And so I looked into his voting record, and, you know, every time they vote, it's public record.
That's right.
And 40 to 50% of the time, he votes with Nancy Pelosi and the radical left.
Really? That much?
Yes. Not only did he vote to impeach, voted for the January 6th commission, but he voted for red flag laws, which take firearms away from law-abiding citizens without any due process. Totally unconstitutional. And then he's also supported legislation that makes it an incentive for more people to come across our border illegally.
Sure.
So I thought, you know what, we're going to continue this huge momentum of grassroots and We the People movement that I had in the governor's race, and we need to take him out. He needs to be replaced with a constitutional conservative. So that's what led me down this path.
Right. And you threw away your whole career and jumped in and became a politician. You know, when you accepted Christ as your personal savior, I know you did that. And then you were baptized in that little church up in Republic. And you just were living a normal life, so to speak. And to see you going now against Newhouse. Newhouse was a tremendous disappointment to me. And to see him get in and to camouflage himself and then to phase in with all the politicians and everything and go against Trump. It was unbelievable. And I understand.
He betrayed everyone.
He betrayed everyone.
You know, yes, he went against President Trump, but he went against the people that put him into office.
He did. He did. And we saw that. And you just recently went to Mar-a-Lago. And we would love to go to that place. And could you tell us just really quick what it was like?
You can see the smile going across my face when you mention that, right?
Wow.
That was amazing. You know, having President Trump's endorsement, it's huge.
Yeah, endorsing,
you know, yes. And but I didn't chase after it. You know, just like other endorsements that I've gotten from Sheriff David Clark, who's on the national scene, and rock and roll legend Ted Nugent.
Oh, yes.
He's endorsed my campaign.
Good.
You can think of Ted Nugent, he's a rock and roll legend.
Yeah, but he's a
70s.
conservative.
He is very conservative, very pro-gun, very pro-family and hunting.
Yes, he is.
Never done drugs, never drank alcohol, and
that's something.
lived a life in rock and roll. So I have both of their endorsements, but I've never chased after endorsements, like a lot of other candidates do. I know some of the other people in this race have paid big money to go to Mar-a-Lago trying to get in around President Trump to get his endorsement. But I never chased that. I thought, President Trump, he's a smart man. He'll look at the facts. He'll look at the information. He'll make the right choice. Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks ago, my wife, Barb, and I, by the way, we've been married 44 years this year.
Wow. That's so wonderful.
We were sitting having a cup of coffee at home, and I had no pre-knowledge that this was going to happen at all. We're sitting there having a cup of coffee, having a conversation, and my cell phone rang. And I picked it up and answered it. And I said, hello. And there was a woman on the other line, on the end of the line. And she said, is this Loren Culp? And I said, yes. And she said, would you please hold for President Trump?
Oh, my goodness.
And I looked at my wife and I said, it's President Trump. And her mouth, both of our mouths were just wide open.
Sure.
I put it on speaker. President Trump came on the line.
Oh, special.
And we talked for about 10 minutes. He was very excited to endorse my campaign. He said, you're the best man to take out Newhouse, and I know you can do it. They looked, apparently, through my whole history, the campaign in 2020, the support I had from We the People.
Right.
So we had a conversation for about 10 minutes. And then a few days later, I got a call from his people and was invited down to Florida to go to President Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago and spend a day down there.
Oh, how wonderful.
So that was incredible. That it's like a resort.
Right.
It's as you can imagine, for President Trump, it's very immaculate.
Yes. Clean and nice and big.
Well-groomed, manicured lawns and flower beds, things like that, swimming pools. But I spent the whole day there just this last Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah. It was a candidate forum. He invited about 12 candidates that he's endorsed for Congress and Senate.
Wow.
There were a lot of the politicians that you see on TV all the time.
Yes.
Were there, the conservative ones. Jim Jordan was there.
Oh, my.
And so I got to meet all those people. There was about 250 people there in the audience. And
wonderful.
It's just a chance to meet President Trump, get my picture taken with him, shake his hand, thank him for all that he's done, and meet other people. And then I spent, I was there from 8:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. And I spent about 45 minutes. They had me come up on stage, and I sat with Matt Whitaker, the former United States Attorney General.
Yes.
And we just had a fireside chat, just talked about the issues in front of the entire audience in the ballroom. It was absolutely amazing.
You're a conservative, and last Friday night I attended the NRA banquet here in Yakima. It was the first time in 2 years we've had that. I'm a gun owner, concealed permit, all my family, and we stand on those positions. I think all of us would. On abortion, would you say something about that? We see abortion on demand today.
Yeah, abortion is murder.
Oh, yes.
If you're stopping a beating heart, you're killing someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and abortion cannot be allowed. I mean, it's just murder.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's taking the life of the unborn. When you get back to gun control and all the things that they're wanting to do, and here in our state, there's a measure now trying to restrict to 10 rounds, trying to bring it down to where you have 10-round magazines. And I think we're currently in a situation in Romania and coming all the way in Crimea, and they're all going in rushes, moving in. And we know that those people there wish that they had a high-capacity magazine. It was not restricted in any way. All these different gun laws that come about, I think the Democrats and the those on the liberal side would just like to take away. They're slowly moving towards removing guns from the average person.
Well, you can't have a one-party totalitarian regime when the people have the ability to stand up for themselves. And our founders didn't write the Second Amendment because they just got back from a hunting trip.
Yeah.
They just got back from getting rid of a tyrant and bringing freedom to America. And so they knew what they were doing. It's not about hunting. It's not about anything else. It's about protecting ourselves and protecting we the people against an invasion or against our own government.
That's right.
If it turned on us. Yes.
Yeah, it certainly would. What would you like us to know about you, and anything specifically? How can we get involved in your campaign? What can we do?
We have a campaign website. It's culpforcongress.com.
Okay.
People can go there, sign up for the emails, because we send out email alerts quite often, let people know where I'm going to be at,
right?
So that I can meet them in person. And every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, I do a show. It's broadcast on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. It's usually about a half an hour. I have a conversation about what's going on currently with the issues in our nation, and foreign affairs as well, which I'll have to deal with in Congress. Just talking about the issues and talking about what we're doing in the campaign, how the campaign's going, and things like that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. In your time, do you feel that as you go out that you're being received better at this time than you were even 2 years ago? It's
incredible. It's very humbling.
Yes, it is.
Especially when I go out with my wife, because she wasn't on the road with me a whole lot. She was dealing with some cancer and didn't want to be on the road too much during the 2020 campaign. But it's kind of funny, and I chuckle at her when we go out somewhere. People coming up and recognizing me all the time, and it's very humbling to me. To her, she's like, "Wow, this is crazy," because I'm just a normal guy, just a country boy.
Sure.
I grew up on family farm. We had about a 60-acre farm.
Really? Where was that at?
It was right outside of Chimacum, Washington.
Okay.
It's in Jefferson County.
Yeah.
My dad was a law enforcement officer when I was very young.
Okay.
We had the farm, had all the farm animals, horses, cows, pigs, chickens, turkey, the normal things. Yeah. And it was our way of life. It was our source of food.
Amen.
And then when we moved to Eastern Washington, when I was in high school, we also lived on acreage, right across from the K Diamond K Ranch, where my brothers and I would take our horses and we'd go help them do the roundup in the spring, and putting the cattle up on the range and dealing with all the things.
It's a wonderful. It was a great life. Horses and cows as well. Okay. And I love all that type of thing and the roundups and everything. As you're going around our state, and we're a liberal state, but they pretty well left us alone here in Yakima. The wearing of masks and all that type of thing, this fake COVID that we've had to be conditioned to accept by the government. And it's been a tough time, but it's so refreshing to know that there's somebody like you that's out on the trail, and that you're going to be running against Newhouse, and he needs to be taken out. He needs to be removed. And I don't know who's in charge, but I sure hope they do something about our voting system.
Definitely.
When in your time, I told you in Bremerton, all the way down, up and down that corridor, I travel a lot. And there were signs everywhere that you had put up. And people buy your signs. Yes. And they put them up different places. And they were large signs. And I just couldn't believe that there was, nothing over there. I don't think I saw any sign for your opponent. And I'm praying that this time that we will see that, and we will do something and see it be changed. People are tired of what's going on right now in America, and they want to change.
You mentioned this is a liberal state. It's not as liberal as people think, or the politicians want us to believe. During the 2020 campaign, I always talked about when the rule of law is followed, when the Constitution is enforced, and politicians, they raise their right hand, swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, but they don't do it. Yeah. But if the law is followed, if they uphold their oath, then everyone's protected equally. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your sex. It doesn't matter your education or your income or the color of your skin. Everyone is protected equally. And I said that every night on stage at the rallies. And I had Democrats that came up to me, even in King County, where we had rallies of 2,000 to 3,000 people come out.
Wow.
so many Democrats, because after I get off stage, I would have a meet and greet line. People wanted to come up and talk to me. And sometimes it would be an hour and a half, 2 hours before we got through that line, but I'd stay there till the last person.
Wow.
We had so many people coming through the meet and greet line telling me that they are lifelong Democrats, never voted for Republican in their life. But my message, of if the law is enforced, everyone's protected equally, that resonated with them.
Yes.
Because everyone loves freedom, and when you talk about the Constitution and the rule of law being followed and the government getting out of our lives and just doing what it's supposed to do according to the Constitution, that resonates with people on both sides of the aisle. The radical left, never going to probably reach them.
That's right.
But we had so many people, Republican and Democrat, that voted for me in 2020. It was amazing.
Boy. I know there are in our state, it's noted as a state that's democratic and so forth, but I know everywhere you go. In fact, I talk to a lot of people. My wife speaks Spanish as well as English, and she said if you spoke Spanish, you'd never come home, because I'd be talking to people in grocery stores or whatever. But I talk to a lot of people, and on the airplane and crisscross the country, and to find liberals and those kind of people that have an opposing view, I don't find them. I don't know where they are.
Right. And
I just can't believe the change. So what you're speaking of is entirely correct.
Yeah. The media, the leftist politicians, they want us to believe that they have all kinds of support. No one can convince me that Biden was more popular than Obama, got more votes than Obama in 2020. There's no way.
I remember early on in his campaign, he had a rally, and they had panned away from the platform. They just happened to show the shot, and there was less than 200 people, and all these chairs set up and all this big type of thing. He doesn't have it, and it's stolen. I just hope that they protect our election and people go and vote for you. Tell me, what can I do to help you? How can other people out there that are watching this program today help Loren Culp to get into that? I know we can give money, and I know that we can do different things, and there's things to do, but it's time that individuals get out and knock on doors. It's time for individuals to get out and talk to people. And I know in this electronic age, young people don't talk, but we can talk, and we can speak to people and let them know about our views. And find out to get them over to where you are.
Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. The time of being a spectator is not now. We are on the verge of losing our country to the radical socialists, the Marxists that are in charge right now. And we need to work on voter integrity. That's going to be one of the highest priorities of me when I get into office. We need to protect our southern border. We need to stop this foreign intervention that's going on. Sending our hard-earned money all around the world to radical governments. It's got to stop. It's a huge money laundering scheme that these politicians have going on.
Yeah, it's true.
And these foreign interventions that's going on. We need to take care of America first.
There's so many people. I'm a Baptist pastor, and there's so many people say, well, this is just the end times. I'm just going to sit back and, kind of let things take place. And, I want to go home to Jesus and that type of thing. And we have got to be involved. We've got to be voting. We've got to be we got to tell others about Christ. There is nothing wrong with politically involving ourselves as a Christian and getting behind candidates like yourself and doing something about it. And I mean, talking and working, passing out flyers, that type of thing, and taking those posters. It's very vitally important.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely need volunteers too. So people can get a hold of us through the website culpforcongress.com. But we need to be involved. We can't just sit back and watch, because
that's right.
This isn't about Republican versus Democrat.
That's right.
This is about good versus evil.
That's right.
And we have to always stand up to evil.
As a pastor, I'd say Christian people need to get involved. If you had the Christian people behind you and everybody would get out and vote, we would see Loren Culp in office the next time. And what a difference that would make. What a difference that would make in America.
Yeah. Have somebody in there that actually understands the role of a public servant. I told people when I was running for governor, I'm not running for governor to be your leader. I don't want to be the leader of your life. I'll lead the government part, the government, but I'm not going to lead your life.
That's right.
And that's the difference between someone who wants to be in charge of everything and everybody, like we have currently in the president and in the governor's mansion, versus someone who is a public servant, and I've been in service to customers. I served in the United States Army under President Ronald Reagan, ran my own business for over 20 years, and then was in law enforcement for about 11 years and serving the people. Wow. And I understand the difference, between a servant and a master.
Oh, that's it.
And our elected public servants is exactly what they are, but they need to start acting like it. And I definitely will.
I got out of the Marine Corps in 1970, and I realized what that was and fighting for my country. And my family was very involved. But, the concept of the government doing everything, and I tell my kids, you can't let the government give you everything. When people realize that they could vote for stuff and they realize they could get stuff by asking, that's what's happened to America.
Right.
And when you can vote yourself for free stuff and you can do all those things, you look at the states like New York and California, New Mexico, that are just sliding down the tubes. People are just pouring out of those places. Yeah. It's amazing. I don't want my area of Washington to go that way. Yeah. And you've renewed my faith and given me hope. And I want to do everything I can to get you into office.
Well, I appreciate that. And I don't know who said it, but somebody did. A government that can give you everything you want can take everything you have.
Oh, that's good.
And we need to get our government back within the confines of the Constitution. It's very clear, the role of the federal government and the state government. And we need to get it back within the confines of that rule book called the Constitution. And I would encourage everyone to read the 10th Amendment. That I'm going to be pounding the 10th Amendment on the table when I'm back in Congress, because it says that whatever is not written in the Constitution for the federal government to do, it's left up to the states and the people.
Oh.
And think about all the things that the federal government does. It touches everything in our lives, in our businesses, in our children, everything, our health care. And if we got the government back within the confines of the Constitution and followed the rule of law, we would be more free. We would be able to live our lives as we see fit, as long as we're not harming our neighbors.
That's right.
And that's what our founders set up. That's the freedom that they gave us. And we need to get back to that. But we have to be active. We have to stand up for America.
Yeah. And if America doesn't do it, nobody else is going to.
No, we're the best hope for the world.
We're the best hope for the world.
This is where everybody goes to.
We can't lose this in November. We've got to be strong. We've got to stand, and we've got to do something about the presidency, of course. And I pray that President Trump will come back strong as he was before. And it's going to take men beneath him doing what you should in the governor. And I appreciate that very, very, very much.
Absolutely. I don't have official word from President Trump, but talking to him, I would say that he is going to run in 2024, and he's helping to set up Congress and the Senate that will support the America First agenda and the American people.
Boy, everything that he did, according to the church, he helped the church more than we had in the last 20 or 30 years. And everything that he did was right. Nobody can tell you something that he did was wrong. And we didn't vote for a pastor. We voted for a president.
Yes.
Somebody that can take charge, somebody that can step into that position. And that's exactly what he's done. And it's so neat that he endorsed you.
It's absolutely awesome.
That is absolutely awesome.
Yes.
You're running for Congress, and we pray that God is going to use you in a great way. How else can we help, as far as getting you into office?
Well, obviously, we need financial support. We're going up against a huge machine with special interest groups supporting Dan Newhouse. But we need everyone to be active. We need everyone to keep voting. It's going to be a lot harder to cheat in a smaller area like this congressional district that's more conservative. So we need everyone to vote. We need people to not stand on the sidelines.
That's right.
We need people to be like David when he went up against Goliath.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the people standing behind there watching. Everyone needs to stand up for America and be involved, because these times are not good right now.
Right.
And we need to fix this. So I would encourage everyone to pray, but then take action as well. Be a David.
Yeah, we need to be a David. And he made this statement, how can, this uncircumcised Philistine come against us? And his brothers were standing there, and the whole army of Israel was standing there. Everybody was just watching. And the Bible says there that they arose and then they pursued the Philistines after he killed the giant. And we need to be giant killers. We can do it.
Absolutely. We can do it.
Yes. Loren, it's been a blessing to talk to you today. And may God bless you on your journey.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
All right. I'm Pastor Dave Brown. You've been watching A Christian Viewpoint. Thank you.